Dear students, our today's topic is positive and negative numbers. Let me start with the numbers that you have studied in smaller classes. At first, you started from the numbers 1, 2, 3, and we continue. And it is endless, million, billion, trillion, it continues on and on. That is called infinity. Such a set of numbers which start from 1 and will go until infinity are called natural numbers. And these are the numbers that we use for counting. So these are also called as counting numbers. That's another name of the same set of numbers. So when you use counting numbers, it will be easy to understand than natural numbers. Because counting numbers means if you want to count the number of students in a class, we start counting from 1, 2, 3 and go on. We never start counting from 0, or also we never use fractions or decimals in between. We never say 1 student, 1.5 student. After 1 student, it should be 2. Such numbers are called natural numbers. Later on, you also studied that there is a number 0, which represents nothing. So 0 and the same set of numbers 1, 2, 3 till infinity. Such set of numbers are called whole numbers. Hope you understand the difference between natural numbers and whole numbers. It's exactly the same, except whole numbers have one additional number, that is 0. And there is no other name for whole numbers. It's only one name. Now we are learning the new set of numbers. These are called integers. It is also similar to what I have written above, but integers are a set of 3 types of numbers. Together we call it as integers. At first, negative numbers, 0, and positive numbers. All these sets of numbers, together we call it as integers. We will study in detail in the coming slides. So remember, what are integers? It's a group of 3 types of numbers: negative numbers, 0, and positive numbers. Now we also have to know how are they represented. Natural numbers are represented by the letter N, capital letter N. Whole numbers are represented by W, and integers are not represented by I. It is something that you will study in grade 9. Integers are represented by the letter Z. So these 3 letters, please keep in your mind. Let's move on. So we studied that integers are a set of negative numbers, 0, and positive numbers. These are just examples, but we'll have -1, -2, -3 until negative infinity, then 0 in the middle, and after 0 we have 1, 2, 3 until positive infinity on the right side. Now let us see more details about negative numbers. Integers specifically means the natural numbers which you use for counting and its opposite. So we can't have decimals or fractions. So we can say integers does not include decimals or fractions. But if we just say negative numbers, it includes all types of negative numbers. So that's the difference between a negative number and integers. So negative numbers means all numbers that have a negative sign with it. It can be -1, it can be -1.1, it can be -1.5, it can be -100, and so on. But what about positive number? How do we write it? Positive numbers can be written in 2 ways, either with a positive sign, or it's the same as writing the number alone, 5 alone. It's the same actually. So which means positive numbers can be written with a plus sign or without any sign. But negative numbers, definitely we need to have the sign. So here is the list of all sets of numbers which represents integers. Here to the right of 0 are positive numbers. We have 0, and to the left are negative numbers. So these 3 sets together we call it as integers, And remember, negative numbers means we can have decimals and fractions. That's the difference between a negative number and integers. Let's move on and see what are the applications of negative numbers. Why are we learning negative numbers? Mainly there are three applications. There are further more, but in grade 6, you need only three main applications. The first one is something that you know to represent extremely cold temperature. You know that water turns to ice at 0 degrees Celsius. And if it is still colder, we represent it by negative degree. For example, negative 5 degrees Celsius means extremely cold temperature. Second situation where you use negative number is the depth under the sea level or the distance under the sea level. We also use this to represent the floor level under the ground. In a building or in an apartment, we can see the basement sometimes they use for parking. The ground level is considered as 0, and the basements, as we go down, it is considered -1, -2, and on. The third situation where we use negative numbers is when you borrow money. A daily life example is when we don't have enough credit in Etisalat, if the balance is 0 right now and urgently you have to call someone where you don't have a receipt to upload. In such situations, you will be credited by, let's say, -15 Arab Emirates dirham, which will be written like this, AED -15, which means this 15 dirhams is not from your account. It is given from the side of Etisalat, and once you recharge the next time, this amount will be deducted from your account. So in short, when you borrow money, either from a bank or in any other dealings, the borrowing which is not your money is represented by negative sign. Dealing with money, temperature under 0 or less than 0, level under the ground, which is also represented by negative. Next, coming to exercise, which number is warmer? Temperature, it's talking about temperature because we have degrees Celsius, and warmer number is the number which has higher value. Now we are given two negative numbers. Whenever we have two negative numbers, what we have to do is choose the number without the sign. You have 8 and 3. Choose the number without the sign and select the number which is small. Smaller number will have higher value. So here 3 is smaller, so its value is higher. So we can say -3 degrees Celsius is warmer. Warmer means highest from the given numbers. So we have -3, -8, so -3 is warmer. Put these temperatures in order from coldest, means the least value first to the highest number. For that, we have negative numbers. So first step, what we will do is circle the numbers that are negative, because smaller number will be one among these negative numbers. And to choose the smallest value, you have to go check the highest number without sign. Focus, highest number without the sign. Inside the circle, we have 3, 5, and 1, which means the highest number, 5, will have the smallest value with the negative sign. So -5 will be the smallest. We can put a comma and separate, or we can separate it by a less than sign because -5 is the least from all these numbers. Then we have -3 and -1. Once again, to compare negative numbers, we choose the highest number without the sign that will have least value. So it is -3 degrees Celsius. And the next one is -1 degree Celsius. Still, we have two more numbers, 0 and 3. Of course, 0 is smaller than 3. And we have 3 degrees Celsius. So this is arranged from coldest temperature to the warmest temperature. Which number is bigger? Once again, to compare between two negative numbers, we forget about the signs and look at the numbers. The smallest number will have greatest value. Here, small number is 2, so it will have greatest value. So -2 is greater or bigger. Next, put these numbers from smallest to the largest. Smallest number, once again, when you have negative number, put them in a circle so that it's easy for us to classify. Smallest value goes to the largest number. Here, negative 7. 7 is the largest number. So negative 7 will be will have the least value, negative 7, then negative 4, then negative 2, and 1 and 2. Let's see more examples. We need to compare here. You know, less than sign, L. How do we write L? Less than, L is written this way. So less than will be similarly looking like L, so that you are not confused. 1 degree and negative 7. Definitely positive number will be greater. Whenever you have any positive number compared to 0 or negative number, the positive number will be greater. If you are confused about the sign, you can also look at you have a wider space here, which will face the bigger number, and small space or the tail will face the smaller number. Next question, we have two negative numbers. To compare two negative numbers, you choose the numbers without the sign, 6 and 3. The smallest number will have greater value. 3 is smaller in number when compared to 6, so it will have greater value. So the larger area or the mouth will be open for negative 3. Between 28 and 25, both of them are negative. 25 is smaller than 28, so negative 25 will have greater value. Negative 3 and positive 3. We don't have to think at all. A positive number is definitely greater than any negative number. Once again, we have two negative numbers. We choose the numbers without the sign. 2 is smaller, so it will have greater value. So negative 2 is greater than negative 6. To understand this, let's do an exercise using this number line. We choose negative 2 and negative 6. Always the number to the right is larger. This is to the left and this is to the right. Negative 2 is to the right side, so we choose negative 2 is greater than negative 6. This is how you can do it on a number line. Moving on to the exercise from the textbook. Write down the highest and the lowest temperatures in each group. So we just have to do only highest and lowest. You have to read carefully the question. Sometimes they will ask you to order, sometimes they will ask you to select the numbers. Here, highest temperature will be the highest value, 0, negative 2, 4. 4 is the highest value, so 4 degrees Celsius. And negative 2 is smaller than 0, so negative 2 will be the lowest temperature. Once again, in question B, we have all of them negative numbers. So to choose the highest number, highest value goes to the least negative number. Least negative number is 6, so this will be highest. Once again, negative with the least number will have highest value. So negative 6 degrees Celsius is the highest and negative 10 is the lowest. Again, we have negative numbers, so highest will be the highest value goes to the small number, which is negative 5, and lower number is the biggest, which is negative 20 degrees Celsius. Let's see the next question. Work out the difference between. First of all, you need to understand difference means subtract. The word meaning of difference in math is subtract. And when you subtract, you have to focus. We have to subtract highest number or highest value minus lowest value. So first of all, you need to choose which one is highest. This is highest and this is lowest. And remember, you have a minus sign in between because we are finding the difference. So first we write the highest number, which is 5 degrees, minus the second number. Second number is negative 2. We have same signs. Whenever we have two same signs together, we change it to positive. So which will be 5 plus 2, 7 degrees Celsius. We can do the same operation on a number line as well, which we will do it later. Next, negative 10 and negative 22. This is the highest number and negative 22 is the lowest number. Don't forget, we have to write the highest number first. Minus lowest number is negative 22. Negative and negative will become positive. So we can rewrite negative 10 plus 22. Once you circle, we just write the overall result down, which will be, we have a plus and a minus. They are different sign. You know that when you have different sign, we subtract. 22 minus 10 is 12. And at the end, we will put the sign of larger number. Put the sign of 22, which is positive. So we can say positive 12 or simply 12. The next question, 4 degrees Celsius and negative 5. 4 is highest and negative is lowest. So we can write 4, then minus negative 5. This changes to positive, so it will be 4 plus 5. So the final answer is 9 degrees Celsius. Let's see the same question. How can it be done on a number line? This is just a sample, but the best way is to do it as we did in the first method. Because if we are dealing with large numbers, let's say negative 213 minus 100, it's not easy to draw the number line all the way from negative 100 to negative 200. So what we will do is just here there is an example for you and you can follow the other method. Here it is. We have to choose the numbers given, negative 2 and positive 5. And see how many steps you have to go forward so that we will reach the second number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the final answer is 7 degrees Celsius. It's the same word that we got in the first method. Again, we take the number line including negative 10 and negative 22. Negative 22 is here and negative 10 is here. And let's see how many steps we have to move so that we will reach negative 10. We count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This is how you get the answer 12 degrees Celsius. Again, the third one, 4 and negative 5. So we mark negative 5 and 4 and then see how many steps you have to move so that we get the answer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the difference is 9 degrees Celsius. So if you are asked to calculate using a number line, this is the method. Just choose the given numbers and see how many steps we have to move. But when you count the steps, don't confuse, don't count the negative. Don't keep counting 1, then 2, then 3. No, this is not what we will count. We count the number of steps. Step 1, step 2, step 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and that's your answer. Hope it's clear. Moving on to question 3. On Monday, the temperature at noon was 5 degrees Celsius. So the question is starting on Monday with 5 degrees Celsius. Over the next few days, these temperature changes were recorded. Monday to Tuesday, down means the temperature went down by 3 degrees Celsius. Down means negative 3. The next day up means positive 1. Again down means negative 6. Up positive 2. So these two words you have to understand. Up a temperature refers to positive number and down refers to negative. So let's write down. From Monday to Tuesday, what happened is the temperature went down from 5 by 3 degrees Celsius. From 5 down by 3, which is equal to 2 degrees Celsius. Now, Tuesday to Wednesday. Tuesday starts with 2 degrees Celsius. So Tuesday to Wednesday is 2 degrees Celsius plus 1, which will be 3 degrees Celsius. On the next day, which is Wednesday to Thursday, starts with 3. And drop down by negative 6. 3 minus 6, we have positive 3 and negative 6. Different sign, so subtract. So the answer is 3 and put the sign of larger number, which is negative 3 degrees Celsius. On Thursday, Friday, Thursday started with -3 and it went up by 2 degrees Celsius. So we get the answer negative and positive, different sign. If we have different sign, we subtract. Good. So -3 plus 2 will give us the answer 1 and put the sign of larger number, which is negative. That's it. This can also be done on a number line. Once again, the last step, -3 plus 2, different sign, so we subtract. 3 minus 2 is 1, and we put the sign of larger number. Moving on to question 4. Put these numbers in order from smallest to largest. Once again, when you want to choose smallest number, we choose the negative numbers first. From the negative numbers, larger number will have least value. So -9 will be the first number, and then -7, 0, then 3, then 5. These are easy. Once again, we have negative numbers. So we choose negative numbers first and select the larger number with negative sign, which is -8. That is the least number. Then we have -5, then -2, and -1. And we are left with one number, which is 9. Once again, we choose the negative numbers. From the negative numbers, the larger number will have least value. So -8 is the least, then -5, then -3, and we have 0 and 11. Excellent. Once again, what's the first step? We circle the negative numbers. Good job. And from the circle, we take the large number, which will be the least value. So -12, -6, -2, and then we have 2 and 7. Again, here we have 4 negative numbers. -14 will have the least value. Then we have -8, then -6, and -4. At last, we have the number 2. Once again, we choose the numbers here, negative numbers. So 7 has the least value, -7, less than -3, less than, we have 1, 5, and 9. State whether each statement is true or false. Here they said, see, the larger size is for 7, which means 7 is larger than 3, which is a true statement. Here they said 2 is less than 17. That's also true statement. Here in question C, 5 is less than negative number. No way. We can't have a positive number smaller than a negative number. So this is false because -6 is smaller than 5. Once again, we have -8 and -5, two negative numbers. Highest number will be the least value, which means 8 will have least value. They said 8 is bigger, which is false statement. That means -8 is smaller than -5. Again, two negative numbers. A highest number will have least value, which means -9 is smaller. So this is false statement because -2 is larger. Let's see question 6 now. Put greater than or less than sign. We have negative and positive. Definitely positive number is bigger. Two negative numbers, smaller the number, larger the value. So -7 will be larger. We have positive and negative, so 3 is greater. Once again, two negative numbers, smaller the number, larger the value. So -2 is bigger. Easy, right? Let's move on to question 7. Find the number that is halfway between the numbers. This can be done in 2 ways. Since we have number line, let's do it on a number line. Starting from -8 until -2, we count how many steps? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 steps. Halfway, we have to take half of 6 steps. Half of 6 is 3. So we have to go back 3 steps. 1, 2, 3. So our answer is -5. We can also do the same question in a different way. What we have to do is add the two numbers given to us, -8 plus -2. So we get the answer -10. Because both of them are negative, same sign, we add. 8 plus 2 is 10 and put the sign of larger number. Now halfway means half of -10. Halfway of -10 is half of 10 is -5 because we have negative with 10. And that's the same answer. That's another method. Once again, let's see question B in the same method using a number line. Steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we moved 9 steps forward, and you know half of 9 is 4.5. So we have to move 4.5 steps back. 1, 2, 3, 4.5. So here is 4.5. And be careful, what number is it? When you find what number is it, which is in between, you have to look at the numbers on the left and right. We have -1, then the number, and -2. So what number comes in between -1 and -2 on half the way? Yes, it is -1.5. So the answer is -1.5. We get the same answer by following the first method, which is -6 plus 3, which is -3 because we put the sign of larger number, and half of -3 is -1.5. So the answer is -1.5. It's the same. Moving on to question C. Once again, we choose the first number and the last number and find out how many steps we have to jump. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you know half of 8 is 4. So we have to go 4 steps backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is your answer, which is -5. You can pause here and do question C in the same method as we did here. What we have to do, choose the first number plus the last number, you get the answer, divide by 2, that's your final answer, which you can check it from here. Moving on to the last question of this lesson, put these temperatures in order from highest. So far we have done lowest to highest, now this is highest to lowest. So we are not going to circle negative numbers, instead we are going to circle positive numbers, 15, 9 only. And definitely 15 is the biggest, and write the sign greater because that's the greatest from all these given numbers. Then we have 9, and we continue with the negative numbers. From the negative numbers, -4, -11, and -8, we need to choose the highest value. Highest value, go to the least number. So -4 degrees Celsius, between -11 and -8. Highest value, go to the least number, which is -8, and the last one is -11 degrees Celsius. That's all for this lesson, and we will continue 1.3 in the next video. That's all for today. Have a good day.